So the American Academy of Neurology has always been interested in the academic members of the organization. Just as small and solo practitioners are feeling under siege with the change in regulations, with the change in financial reimbursement, academics is also under siege. Just as burnout is out there in small and solo practitioners, our own surveys have shown that burnout is high among academicians. So we felt it was important to just make sure we engage with those constituents of our organization and try to see where can we help. So the academic initiative is an approach by the American Academy of Neurology to take everything that we're already doing across academic departments and raise it up an even further notch, particularly focusing on the chairs. And that was what was different. We'd already done many things for clerkship directors, for residency program directors, for obviously academic members. We were working on our diversity officers in departments. We were worried that maybe the chairs were less engaged, and there were many chairs that still didn't know about many of the resources that the Academy had available. So chairs of departments are thought leaders, and often all of us as neurologists are born out of usually academic departments, our residency programs and our neurology, neuroscience, and our neurology clerkships. So we thought it was important to make sure we engage them, hear from them, and get them to better communicate with one another and share best practices. As a chair, I personally knew what some of the big issues were out there. Financial issues, trying to pay for the under-reimbursed research and education missions, burnout in academic faculty members, funding many of the initiatives that were important, working with funds flow models. So the goal was, what can the American Academy of Neurology do to help chairs be more successful? So that led to the development of Chair Summit 1, where we brought, for the first time, almost all of the academic chairs together for this summit to first talk with one another and to listen to say, what can the AAN do to help you? And then a chair work group got developed, and then Chair Summit 2 was terrific because then we brought the academic business administrators together. And they are the financial minds of many of our academic departments. And so bringing them together as a group and engaging with the chairs, we really are now beginning to launch more educational initiatives. The neurologist was coined by our Transforming Leaders group, which we're very proud of, all of the many leadership programs that have continued to expand in the American Academy of Neurology. So, as one of my platform areas I was interested in was expanding the scope of neurology to include interventional neurology, preventative neurology, and regenerative neurology. And I really felt that the research was accumulating to finally bring that to the patient. There are many, many opportunities that neurologists have to intervene now. Stroke is an example, epilepsy, deep brain stimulation, and many other kind of interventional opportunities that we really can make a huge difference in curing or improving the life of our neurology patients. Preventive neurology, great example. Many great opportunities for stroke, dementia, migraine, other preventative medications and approaches to reduce the burden of neurological disease. And the future will be regenerative neurology. So the other thing was working in teams, as we talked about trying to meet the demands that are out there for the underserved and the number of patients that we have to provide care to with the undersupply of neurologists. So we gave our Transforming Leaders group a project about this, of how the AAN can help advance this area of expanding the scope of neurology to include interventional, preventative, and regenerative. And they came up with this whole great concept of the neurologist, somebody who was the leader of a team, somebody who understood the needs of populations, somebody who worked with all of the best organizations, including the American Academy of Neurology, to advance the mission, somebody who was up on quality and evidence-based care for patients. And it was a whole concept that I think took this idea of expanding the scope of neurology practice and then gave it a whole new focus. And it also, I think, was something that would be inspiring to young people in the field to talk about how neurology has evolved as a field. And hopefully we'll come back to that, because that was another area of importance, expanding our pipeline. So the United States and other parts of the world continue to diversify. We felt it was important that the Academy continues to engage and develop more diverse members of the Academy. And I would say it's women as well as African American and Hispanic members. We don't have enough on the board. We don't have enough on our committees. We don't have enough even as neurologists and as members of the organization. So for us to meet the needs of a diversified, changing population, we needed to make sure we got that talent and then engage them to give them the talents to be leaders of this organization. So I'm happy to say the Leadership Committee has invested in multiple different opportunities. Our diverse leadership programs, our transforming leadership programs, our women in leadership programs, our practice in leadership programs, emerging, transforming, all the different leadership programs were important. And I really felt in my time as presidency that emphasizing equity, diversity, inclusion, and addressing health disparities was critical for us to move forward. We had a health disparities task force that made some recommendations for us as an organization of what we should do to be ready and to continue to address the major health disparities that are out there for multiple neurologic conditions. We have now created and reorganized the way the Academy functions with what are called joint coordinating councils. And we created one on equity, diversity, and inclusion and health disparities to help integrate across all the different vertically organized committees that exist in the Academy and make sure equity, diversity, inclusion, and health disparities are addressed, just as we did the same for a joint coordinating council on wellness. So these are ways to really engage the organization and make sure equity, diversity, inclusion is inculcated throughout the whole organization.